Good morning and welcome to another session of Facebook Live Tuesday Tour. It's John Sauter and April Holeiter behind the camera from your Purdue Alumni Association, bringing you another update from campus where we talk about traditions and of just a wide variety of things. Today we're going to focus on one of your favorites, and that's Purdue Pete. And so here we are in the media room in Mackey Arena. It's the second week in April. Grand Prix is coming up this particular weekend, and we're looking forward to a busy time. But we're so happy today to be able to focus on Purdue Pete. And I'll give a little bit of history, and then we have some celebrities with us here today who are going to talk about the background and everything involved with Purdue Pete. So we go back to 1940. 1940, University Bookstore. Red Samuels and Doc Eppel need a logo for University Bookstore, and they commission an artist out of California, Art Evans is his name, to come up with something, and their guideline to him is they wanted somebody who was grinning. They wanted him to be muscular, a muscular icon of the Boilermaker tradesman. And they wanted him to have a mallet, they called it back then, a mallet for molding steel. And they wanted him to wear a hat to keep the grease out of his hair. So a lot of that, I suspect, came right out of the Monon shops for those are the stipulations they were looking for. So in 1940, they created that. 1944, Pete skipped across the street and became part of the campus involvement when the Purdue 1944 alumnus, the genuine 1944 debris actually focused introducing Purdue Pete, making his first appearance, Pete. Right here it is, and throughout the book then there are a variety of illustrations about Pete and a variety of outfits and costumes and that sort of thing. Here he is in a tuxedo, all those sorts of things throughout the book. And so all of a sudden, not only did he arrive on campus, but he had the name of Boilermaker Pete, which they came up with. Interesting that in 1940, that very same year, the university designated the Boilermaker Special as their official mascot. And so that is the correct answer if you're on Jeopardy. It's the Boilermaker Special. But most of us think it's really this guy over here that really ought to be that mascot because you see him most often. So that happened in 1944. Here we are. 1956, he started actually becoming a person in a variety of costumes and those sorts of things. It was time for him to actually make an appearance. And so that's what we're going to walk through now. And so to help me do that, we have Steve Solberg, who is the Spirit Squad coordinator, as well as the cheer and mascot coach. Been doing that for a few years. In fact, Steve, how many years have you been doing that?
I just completed my 9th season here.
9th season. Mm-hmm. And how did you get into that particular role?
I was a cheerleader in college,
okay.
And really got into coaching after I graduated, really enjoyed it, and found out about the Purdue position. It opened up, and had a bunch of colleagues tell me that they thought that I should apply for it and look into it, and that's what I did. I applied for it, and then it was kind of crazy from the time of applying for it to the time where I moved to West Lafayette. It was 4 weeks. It was a fast time. I came in, I interviewed, and then a week later they offered it to me, and then a week later I found a place, and then a week later I moved, and that was it. So I packed up. It was moving fast. Yeah, okay. It was crazy.
And you've had some recent success with the cheerleaders, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell us about that just a little bit.
Yeah. In 2018 we won our first national championship at the UCA College Cheerleading Nationals. This past year we took 3rd. So in the past 4 years in a row, we've placed in the top 3. So it's been a really successful time with the cheerleaders. And then also there is Mascot Nationals, and every year they only take 10, so it's very selective. And it's all through a video process. And Purdue Pete actually placed 13th. And so he was so close. It was actually the highest placing we've had in a long time in the taping. Okay. So we're really hoping next year that maybe we can send out Purdue Pete also down to Nationals. Yeah.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. So Purdue Pete, here we're going to go through some of the background, and we see this interesting object here.
Yeah.
Let's go through that. This is not the first head,
no.
I understand.
Nope.
The first one actually fell off the back of a truck or something?
That's the legend. The legend is that the original Pete head was almost 50-some pounds, or a little bit over 50 pounds, and rumor has it that and it was just paper mache. So it was on the back of the Boilermaker Special is the legend, and it flew off and was destroyed, and it was never to be seen again, and so they had to make another one. But that is the legend of the original Pete head. And then the second one was created, and one of the second ever Purdue Pete, Dr. John Note, actually is still alive today and is an active member of the community. And his stories about the Pete heads and everything it's awesome. It's really cool to hear about literally the original history of Purdue Pete.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the second?
This is the third, actually.
This is the third.
Yeah, this is the 70s.
Okay.
You know, obviously back then, I mean, they're all paper mache. This one actually has been reinforced to be a little bit sturdier than paper mache, but this one still weighs a little bit over 30 pounds. So if you could imagine, and you can see it's very long. So,
yeah.
And literally the only thing that's holding it together or holding it on is that you just put your arms through these holes, and then that's it. And then so you have to balance it. It literally will kind of lay up against the back of the head. We actually put the guys in this during homecoming every once in a while, and usually the rookie gets this one because nobody wants to wear it. So, but we do bring it every once in a while for homecoming, and but it makes them appreciate the current costume that they have. That they don't have to wear this every game. Yeah,
right.
But this was about 1971 to 74.
Okay.
Yep.
And moving on, is this the maybe the 80s version?
Yes, yep. This is early 80s. We call this the Gene Katie Pete because it kind of looks like Coach Katie with the slicked hair and everything.
Eyebrows.
Yeah, got the grin, the scowl face. Probably the meanest looking Pete we've had. That's okay. But again, as you can see, it's gotten lighter. It's actually connected right to the shoulder pads, which kind of makes sense. But also, what it really it makes him immobile. Like the only way he can turn is if he literally turns his shoulders. He can't just turn his head. So obviously, after this, it kind of evolved a little bit. There was a late 80s Pete where actually the guys could actually move the eyebrows. There was actually a mechanism that they created where they can move the eyebrows up and down. But that only lasted a couple years, and then around 1989, we actually went to the aviation tech department, and they created a molding. And ever since the late 80s, early 90s, the aviation tech department here on campus has created Purdue Pete heads for us.
Okay.
And then it evolved into basically what you see today.
Ta-da!
Yes.
Okay. And this head obviously is significantly lighter.
Yes. This current Pete head is about 8 pounds. And actually, when I started in 2010, it was about 12 to 13 pounds. So even within my time here, the aviation tech department has used different materials, more of a carbon fiber material to make it as light as possible.
Okay. Much more modern. We've gone from the hat
to
keep the grease out of the hair,
to a hard hat helmet.
to the hard hat, and the variety of costumes they can wear.
Yes. I mean, that is the nice advantage for our Purdue Pete is he literally can wear anything. You know, he goes to Boilermaker Ball every year for the Alumni Association. He gets to wear a tuxedo. You know, or if his baseball or softball game, he's got a baseball uniform. You know, basketball, football.
Okay.
He can literally wear anything. Halloween's always our favorite game. He's got tons of costumes that he wears, and so that's really nice that we can literally make him into any type of character we want.
Excellent. And then we actually have a Purdue Pete out of costume here.
Yes.
Introduce yourself and maybe talk about your experience, trying out and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name's Kyle Shane. I'm a graduating senior, and I have been on the team for 2.5 years now. I tried out my sophomore year. So the trial process is probably one of my favorite days of the year. So actually, I tried out my freshman year, but did not make the team, did not make it past the first cuts, and then tried out again my sophomore year, just because I had so much fun during the day and really wanted to be on the team. So I tried out again. The tryout consists of 5 different stations. One is like a general strength to see if you can do push-ups and sit-ups, run around and suit a little bit. And then the next 4 are all trial stations with the head on. So you have to keep in mind that you can't talk with the head on. You have to improvise, use your body motions during certain stations like dance mix, walking into a room, seeing a room full of props. You have a minute to look at the props, then create a minute-long skit out of it.
Wow.
You have to do something with the fight song, and then game day situations where the judge shouts out something at you like, oh, a crying fan, or IU fan coming up, he's going to heckle you. What are you going to do? How are you going to react? So a lot of on-the-spot thinking.
Did you have background as a mascot in high school or something? Or?
No, I did not. I had no mascot experience before this.
Okay. And how many people try out typically?
There's on average anywhere between 20 to 25 that try out each year.
Okay. For how many spots?
It varies year to year. When my rookie year we took 4, but this past year and the year before we've only taken 2. So we typically take around 1 or 2. I just had kind of an odd year where we had a lot of graduating guys.
Do you have to try out each year?
You try out twice, and after the second tryout, once you make it on your second time, then you don't have to try out after that.
Wow. You get a bye.
Yeah, so this year I became a judge for the tryouts. It was my third year in the tryouts.
And he talks about the team. I just might show this is the current team of folks who play Pete, and I guess there's enough events going on all year long that it takes that many.
Yeah, we actually counted it up this past school year, or I guess we would say a fiscal year from July to June. Purdue Pete did well over, I think it was over 90 events.
90
outside of sporting events.
Outside.
So we're talking. So he's at every home and away football game.
Yeah.
He's at every home volleyball match.
Okay.
He's at every home men's and women's basketball game. He goes to every tournament that the basketball teams qualify for and go to. And then he does about 4 to 5 softball games, 4 to 5 baseball games. He'll do about 4 to 5 soccer matches. He does every home wrestling meet. And that's just athletics. And then we have athletics events on top of that. And then we have alumni events. And then we have outside events. So as you saw in the picture, we have 6 of them. And back in the days, like in the 70s, there was maybe only 1 or 2. But obviously
you have to have that many.
You just have to have that many now in terms of just all the events they do.
Okay.
And it is a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the outside events. Like what kind of off-campus events do you get involved with, Kyle?
There's a wide variety of stuff. So I've done everything from birthday parties to like weddings, and these birthday parties could be a 6-year-old or a 53-year-old. I did one where it was in just a corporate meeting room. They had me for an hour, and about the size from this wall to wall, and I had to improvise and find stuff to do. So being able to find something in the room like a stapler and find 15 minutes of things to do with that, or find a kid to entertain for a little bit there. That may have been one of the more difficult ones, but I've done some exciting ones. Like this past year, I got to go to an Indiana Pacers game, and for Purdue Day, I followed along their mascot, did some on-court activities, and got to be a mascot in an NBA game. So it's kind of a wide variety.
Okay. And I suspect you do weddings. April, do you know a little bit about that?
Yes, we actually had Purdue Pete at our wedding.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah.
Did you dance with Purdue Pete?
I don't think we danced, but we had lots of pictures.
Well, you might have a chance here before it's all over. How about some of the more challenging situations you find yourself in?
There's quite a few of those too. There was one specifically that comes to mind. I did a birthday party kind of in the Indianapolis area where the Boilermaker Special was there, and a lot of the times we get to ride in the Boilermaker Special with all the kids at the party. However, this group of kids was a little bit more unruly than most, and about halfway through the ride they started chanting, "Take off the mask, take off the mask." And the moms were sitting there and they were just loving it, because sometimes you get help from the parents. They'll be like, "Oh no, settle down, settle down." But no, they were loving it. They were just sitting back like, "What's he gonna do about this one?" So you have to pretend that you're taking off the hex. It's like, it's a part of you. You are Pete. Pete's head doesn't come off.
That's fine. He never comes off, never talks.
Never talks.
That's the guideline. Mm-hmm. I suppose the mascot guideline or whatever it might be called. How about maybe some of your favorite? Do you have a favorite situation that you've been in, or?
I think that Pacers game might be one of my favorites. I do enjoy going to like elementary schools and seeing a bunch of different kids' reactions, because there's a lot of kids that love Pete and a lot of kids that are terrified of Pete.
Yeah.
And
Adults too.
Yeah. Some adults and the teachers. So you get, he's an IU teacher. Let's go stop by his room, see what he's gonna say. There's just a wide variety of people and so much to do with different crowds.
You got to be ready for it all.
Oh yeah.
I suspect.
I'm always learning something new every time. I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and I'm always seeing something new.
And you mentioned these professional games. Has Purdue Pete ever made it in the big time, a professional mascot?
Yeah, we have. There's a couple guys that have done things. We have one that works with the Miami Dolphins right now, actually. So he's been very helpful when we have questions or things that we need to ask. Seeing it from a professional level has been very nice.
All right. And I think there's a camp maybe that you go to. Does that help train you to be a...
Yeah, so we go to UCA camp, Universal Cheer Association. They hold a cheer, dance, and mascot camp every year. Our region, we go to the Wisconsin Dells, where about 40 to 50 other mascots are there. So we have mascot counselors that have done college and or professional experience that give us advice. We walk through situational things, and just a great time to hear from 3 or 4 different people, as well as get networking with other mascots, because like things from there, we've created group chats with the other Big Ten mascots to brainstorm ideas for like football or basketball game days, or if we go to a tournament, just have that networking with other college mascots. It's been great.
Well, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah.
It would seem like. All right, good. Steve, anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, just we appreciate you guys asking us to be here today to talk about Purdue Pete. If anybody is interested in doing a Purdue Pete event, you can go to our website. It's boilerspirit.com, all one word, boilerspirit.com. And then if you look through the tabs, you'll see appearance request. And bam, if you want Purdue Pete at your event, there are a couple stipulations in regards to events that we don't do. But other than that, as long as it's an approved event, we'll try to get Purdue Pete out there and have a good time. There is usually a fee associated with that, depending on the type of event. But either way, we try to accommodate, we try to make it happen, and just try to get Purdue Pete involved in the community, because that's Purdue. We are a small community here, but we're
That's
tight,
right.
and we do love. It really is amazing how many people they do love Purdue Pete. It is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And I would say that our alumni, our Purdue Pete alumni, they're very close. I mean, they like to be involved. They've been very supportive and helpful. We have some great donors, some great support staff that have really helped. Special shout out to Kim Harris in the marketing department. She helps me book all their events, and if something cancels or whatever, she's the one that contacts the guys. So special thanks to Kim for all her help on that. But other than that, thanks again for having us. We really appreciate it.
We're happy to do it. Good to have you guys here.
Thank you.
We'll see you at a game.
Sounds great.
Boiler up.
That's it. Hail Purdue.
Boiler up.